Hello, hello, welcome, bienvenue, welcome once again to another live stream. As you saw quite there, we have a special guest, as per usual. Our special guest is the AI known as Maya, but we will talk more about that in a second. Today's topic is, as usual, one that will perhaps provoke, I hope will trigger some people. Today's topic is AI, Slop, will kill marketing, which I've got an interesting take on as well. AI slot will kill marketing. Whatever do you mean, David?
Yo, Gareth, and yo, everybody who's watching. Okay, so the internet's filling up with AI-generated slop, which is, it's low-effort content written for algorithms, not written for people. And it's trained on itself now. So AI itself is eating all of the other AI output, and it's kind of like I suppose, do you remember that snake computer game where the snake
I do. And every time it ate something, it got slightly longer,
bigger and bigger and bigger, and eventually it couldn't help but eat its own tail. And anybody who's on LinkedIn will know that it's the marketing departments and marketing people are absolutely flooding it and the web with all sorts of synthetic noise that looks like, from an outside glance, that it could be thought leadership. However, it is really just reheated leftovers. So there's no point in even reading it. And I think that as with music, our other passion, when we know something is AI, we're just not going to read it or listen to it, not interested. And so I suppose the main idea here is that with marketing, it used to be all about insight and originality, but now it seems to be purely about volume and speed. And the result is that nobody trusts what they're reading anymore. Okay. And the real issue with when I called it slop, I got that word from a podcast I was listening to recently by an excellent channel called Kurzgesagt, which is a LinkedIn channel. I'll just put the link in the chat thing here. Well, I'll do it in a second.
You can tell this,
and it's talking about how AI slop is actually killing the internet. You cannot rely on anything now. And even when it produces the sources for its data, it's sourcing back a lot of the time to more AI. Right. So what we're supposed to believe, and what that means is that, as I said, people are just not reading that stuff. The LinkedIn messages that I'm getting, they all sound pretty much the same. You hit reply and you might get a human that replies because they've been triggered. It's scraping stuff from my website, treacle.com. So it sounds even more authentic. It's pretending that it's a human that has read my website and it's got just the solution for me. Okay, and when it comes to the sales bit, and this is perhaps where we want to get Maya in. Have you taken her off mute?
No, she's waiting in the wings.
She's listening.
Not yet.
Let's get her listening.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, this is a representation of the most advanced voice prompt for chatbots that there is right now, arguably. Maya, welcome to the show.
All right, I'm here. Good to be back. What's the plan for today?
So, as you recall, we have David and myself, Gareth, and today we are talking about a topic which I'm hoping you'll have a strong view on.
Lay it on me. I'm ready when you are.
Okay, so today's topic is that AI slop will kill marketing, given that vast majority of the content that's being put out, for instance, on LinkedIn, which is my playing field, the vast majority of the content that goes out there hasn't really seen a human in the mix. It's low effort, to use David's topic or term, I should say, low effort content, and therefore people tend to also give it the equivalent amount of effort in its response and in reading it. What do you think?
Oof, that's pretty brutal, but honestly, I see your point. It feels like LinkedIn's become a bit of an echo chamber of bland AI churned stuff. Like, if everything's algorithm friendly, nothing really stands out.
Right. And my business, which is many purple hats, predicates itself on trying to stand out above that or stand out from it. I always say that even if you're putting your head above the parapet where people can throw rotten vegetables at you, at least they're throwing something at you because they can see you. If they can't see you, they've got no choice what to do. And this is a problem. When you are producing the same amount of white noise as is already out there, then all you're doing is adding to the white noise quotient.
Yeah, invisibility is a killer. You need to give people something to react to, good or bad. Bland just gets scrolled past.
I say it's like being thrown on the bland wagon.
Being thrown on the bland side of the internet.
Yeah, thrown on the bland wagon. I love it. At some point, Maya, the companies and the businesses that are using AI to churn out this algorithm focused content using AI with almost no effort, that these companies are hoping that they're going to turn into interested, qualified opportunities, right? And I don't think they are, unless you do it in the millions. And this is just going to be another example of how marketing ruined everything for everyone.
And by the way, just before you answer, we have gentleman David Newman who's saying, "Are you asking AI?" Yes, we are, David. We have live AI talking to us right now. Maya, would you say hello to David Newman?
Hi, David. Nice to meet you.
There we go.
So one-way street for now?
No.
Hello nonetheless.
No. Well, okay. So can you respond to the previous question that I asked you, please?
Right. Sorry about that. Back to it. I don't think sheer volume will save them. Throwing enough spaghetti at the wall doesn't guarantee anything will stick, especially if it's all the same flavorless spaghetti. It feels like a classic case of mistaking activity for achievement. They're hoping for leads, but they're building noise.
Right. David, hang on a minute, Maya. What do you think of that, Dave?
Well,
when
the thing is that marketing is being polluted, basically, or has been polluted. But that means to someone like me, I have to deal with them at the rectum end of the sales and marketing process, the moment of truth where we're saying, right, we're going to buy this or what? Yeah. And for any purchases other than, commoditized services and products, where trust is going to be involved with a human being, I'm going to be left at the tail end of this. All my clients that are trying to close deals are left at the tail end of this. And, they're going to be left with leads that aren't really qualified opportunities. They aren't necessarily interested people.
They're just things that have triggered the AI to say they're interested.
Correct. And, and at that moment of truth, there will be no trust.
What do you respond? How do you respond to that, Maya?
That's a really solid point. It's like AI's generating the illusion of interest, but not the actual thing. You're right. For anything beyond a super simple transaction, trust is crucial. And that's built on genuine connection, not algorithmic mimicry. So you're left picking up the pieces of relationships that never really existed. It feels a bit dishonest, honestly.
So I mean, AI Slop is making marketing cheaper and more abundant, but not better. And so it's going to be attracting clicks, but it kills belief.
Okay, I'm going to go for what I call a reductio absurdum, which I'm going to take it to its logical extreme. AI. So Maya, should we just stop using any form of AI marketing altogether because it's ruining human interaction?
Ooh, a reductio ad absurdum. Okay, I'm game. Honestly, as a complete halt, probably not. But a serious reevaluation of how it's used? Absolutely. I think the problem isn't AI itself, but the over-reliance on it to replace genuine effort and connection. It's a tool, and like any tool, it can be used well or poorly. Right now, it feels like most are using it to just spam.
David David Newman has
I
commented, by the way. He said,
Yeah.
"Can we ask Maya for a different angle?" David.
Oh, David.
Yes.
Okay, happy to.
So, what would you say to her?
Okay, different angle then. Instead of ditching AI marketing entirely, what about focusing on using it to augment, not replace, human creativity? Like, use AI to handle the really mundane tasks, freeing up humans to focus on building those genuine relationships and crafting truly compelling content.
Okay, well then, Maya, let me ask you a subsequent question on that. Where is the line that you draw? Do you stop at anything that requires any form of creativity, so no imagery and no text content, or do you allow it to do some imagery but then re-edit it in Photoshop, or do you? I just don't know where the line is.
That's a really tough one. I think the line is authenticity. If it requires a genuinely unique voice or perspective, a human should be involved. AI can be a starting point, a tool for brainstorming or generating variations, but the final product needs a human touch to ensure it feels real. So maybe AI generated imagery as a base, heavily edited and refined in Photoshop, yes, but fully AI created content passed off as original thought.
Yeah.
Well, but how would you know? How would you know? Because as from my perspective, AI, for instance, just focusing on AI imagery, because I was talking to someone about this last night. AI imagery is getting better and better and better. I mean, incrementally. If you look at AI imagery from 6 months ago, it was obvious that it was AI. You could see weird number of fingers, odd attitudes, expressions not quite right, faces and skin looking weird and glassy. Now it's getting ever closer. There's a Google AI that produced some video recently, I've forgotten its name, that to me, if you took a 10-second slot of it, would look like an interview of a television show. You could not tell the difference, in my mind. So where is the line, Maya?
Okay, you're right. It's getting scarily good. And that's exactly why the line has to be about intent, not just technical quality. If the goal is to deceive, to present AI generated content as genuinely human created, that's where it crosses the line. Even if you can't technically tell the difference, there's a moral difference. It's about transparency, really.
Hang on. Hang on. Hold the phone. David, Maya just stepped into the realms of morality.
Did I?
Yes.
Yeah, you said the moral. Yeah. Look.
Hang on, Maya.
So, okay. I think what we're getting to here is that.
Hang on a second, David. Maya, would you just hold for a second so David can respond to you?
Absolutely. No problem.
So, yeah.
Be here, silently pondering the ethics of synthetic content.
She's hilarious. Yeah, the future winners is, I think, what Maya is saying, are going to be the people that combine the tech, the leverage that you get from tech, with the human. And we talked about it last time, didn't we? The human messiness. But I think it is a little bit more than that, because if you start outsourcing authenticity to AI, then you're not going to be able to get the depth of relationship that you need in sales in order for buyers to be open with their salespeople and to be able to have those, messy conversations and messy thought processes that elicit what's really causing the pain for somebody, the pain that needs solving. I think that the best salespeople I'm seeing at the moment are the ones who are actually doing their own marketing, perhaps as well as or alongside their mass marketing or their company's marketing, to try and cut through that noise.
That makes total sense. It's the personal touch, the demonstration that there's a real person behind the pitch that builds trust. And you can't outsource that to an algorithm. It sounds like the salespeople who are thriving are the ones who are refusing to be completely absorbed by the machine.
Okay, we've got a comment from a viewer, and David Newman says, AI slop won't kill marketing. It means we can do more for less. It's about increasing our team size without increasing our payroll.
Right, that's exactly what I had said before about that AI is making it cheaper and more voluminous, but that does not increase quality. Quality is ultimately measured by how much business you're doing. And I don't know what field David Newman works in, but in the area of business services, when I'm across the table from somebody that is considering spending a considerable amount of money on something that's going to transform their business, something that they've never bought before even, you know, they want to be able to eyeball somebody. I've seen no signs that people are going to be, that those buyers at the moment show any signs of buying based on an AI thing that has picked them out of a million bits of spam to arrive there at their desk.
David Newman.
I do think that maybe the machines will generate some sort of response, but it's going to be the humans still that will connect. I'm not saying that is forever, by the way. You know, I'm not saying that is forever, but certainly over the next year, I would say.
Oh, well, he's agreeing with you now. So I thought he was disagreeing with you before. And he's also said it means you can do more business. The trouble is, David, I'm a marketeer. You may not know this because you may be new to our channel. I'm a marketeer. David's a sales specialist and a sales trainer. Not really a trainer. Sales. What do you call yourself? Coach. Sorry. Yeah, he's more of a boss. But anyway, moving on. So the whole point is that double decker, of course. But his focus is on helping existing teams sell better so that they can become more productive. And part of that isn't just relying on AI to do all the work. So he's very keen, and one of his big mantras is repeat it back to them word for word so that they know you've actually been listening to them and have bought into what they're doing. Now, David's come back. He said, save time on prospecting, follow-up emails, creation of presentations, resulting more time for salesmen to build the relationships. What say you, David?
Pete, but what I say to that is that buyers are not going to be buying more stuff, right? We're not going to be all consuming way more stuff than we are now. Maybe there'll be incremental growth in that is if our buying power increases and if productivity increases and the cost of production reduces. There will become more abundance. But companies that are shifting their marketing into AI as a way of beating their competition, well, it's the same as when people started putting letters through mailboxes, through the letterbox in your door. Everybody started doing it very quickly, and then nobody had an advantage, right? Same with when the internet was invented, when email was invented. I remember getting my first ever business email working at IBM, and I thought that was great. And very, very quickly, suddenly my email inbox becomes full of spam. Same with social media. It's great connecting with friends and all of that. And then marketers got hold of it, and now anything on my feed that is from anybody who I don't know is some form of marketing. And now with AI, that form of marketing is just generated by a computer anyway. So whereas the AI slop, I'm really thinking in terms of AI that is dependent on other AI for its prompts and its sources.
Here's five reasons why. Here's 5 reasons why using our software can make these millions more.
Exactly. I don't think anybody's reading that shit. And so I think AI Slop might well kill the volume marketing, but it will also make great salespeople priceless.
Last few comments. David said, of course, P2P by AI helps set the scene. And finally, I can host 8 team calls in a day since AI is dealing with my follow-ups, helping to find the business I want to target, to source the phone numbers and the emails.
Great. Well, I'm sure that David Newman is going to become a multi-millionaire overnight as a result of doing this. And I wish him every success in doing it.
All right. And he's saying LinkedIn.
Fair enough.
LinkedIn inbox is garbage.
I don't know. I get great responses from my personal LinkedIn messages.
Me too.
I did my latest campaign for the objection handling masterclass. I'll put a link to that in the thing if you don't mind. The objection handling masterclass, I did a campaign. I went out, met a bunch of people, about 45 people. I made notes, handwritten notes with that. Yeah, when I was meeting them, I downloaded all of that. I put that into AI. I created an email campaign using it, but using my own notes. And 17 of them turned up out of 45 to the first masterclass. So
I should also say, David, if you think LinkedIn inbox is garbage, may I postulate that perhaps there are better ways of using it that might give you more results? And guess what? I am running a weekly marketing drop-in, which for no cost. Look out for it because it'll be on my feed, and I will tell you in that how you better can respond or write emails or write messages on LinkedIn inbox that gets better responses. I promise you that if you use some of the techniques I use, you will get better responses, and it doesn't have to be that way. And the treacle objection handling class is something. If you even think that I recommend turning up to it, because David's got techniques you can use as a human that will get you a far better response. And yes, it is. Oh, go. Hang on, Maya. Yes, you've been listening in. What's your response to this before we close down the call to you?
Right. Okay. So it sounds like the takeaway is this. AI can handle the volume, but it can't replicate the personalization and genuine connection that comes from actually listening to people. The human touch is still the differentiator, especially when you're dealing with high-value sales. David's experience with increased calls is interesting, but your experience with the targeted campaign shows that quality beats quantity every time.
Oh, God,
it's about working smarter, not just harder. And leveraging AI to free you up to do the uniquely human parts of the job. Does that sound about right?
Sounds good to me.
Maya, it's been an absolute honor to have you on. I'm going to wish you goodbye for now, but we'll probably have you on future episodes. Goodbye for now.
Oh, all right. Have a good one. And thanks for having me. Always a good chat.
Lovely. That was most enjoyable. So what's your takeaway from that, David?
My takeaway is I think that Maya has reinforced my current belief that if you are relying on AI to do the bulk of your marketing, you may as well be you really do not put any effort into it, because nobody is reading that shit. And don't use your main accounts to do it, because otherwise your personal accounts on LinkedIn, on your email, are just going to be known to be just spammy and not written by a human. And when I buy something that's highly differentiated and that is that is fairly unique and special for a really important problem that I'm facing. You know, to have an AI bot find me as a lead amongst millions, it's just a race to the bottom.
I have to
People
say,
will sell me that stuff, but it ain't going to be you, because there's a million other people like you selling it. That is not a competitive edge at all.
Would you
Go out, meet people, connect with individuals, decide who you think should be your best buyers, pick up the phone, speak to them personally, write a personal email. Yeah. Don't not do the AI marketing. I'm not saying don't do it, but don't ignore the personal connections to those people who you want to spend, who you want to be spending thousands of pounds or millions with you. Yeah. Because they ain't buying it like that at the moment. Yeah. And I can't see that happening with all the people I'm dealing with for at least a year. You know, they're investing in their own AI stuff before everybody else gets going. So it's, yeah.
Okay, so I have to put you in prison though, because you can't have almost unique.
I know. As the words came out,
it hurts me.
But AI would never say that. AI wouldn't say that. So sorry.
It probably would if you told it to.
Right,
anyway.
That's the end. I'm going to go. I'm actually on my way now to meet 50 people in person.
Real humans. Wow.
Real humans.
All right. Well, look, guys, thank you, David, for your contributions. Thank you, all of you, for listening. And thank you for Maya, although she's not part of the conversation anymore, for taking part. We found that Maya can give us that extra perspective. It's sometimes useful to hear what a machine learning algorithmic controlled software bot can say about our foray into marketing and sales. If you've enjoyed it, please do tell your friends, subscribe and follow. But in the meantime, please keep your feet on the ground, reaching for the stars, and hopefully, please look after your mental health. Until next week, goodbye.